Sleepers, breakouts, and busts 1.0 up next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5 on Thursday, February 1st. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Chris Towers, and here we've got sleepers, breakouts, and busts. We're just going to rattle off one name each. We'll start off with sleepers. Chris, you are up. Luis Severino.
Yeah, my sleeper approach was to go with players being drafted outside of the top 250. And in Luis Severino, what we have is a guy who's a former top 10 starting pitcher. And even as recently as 2022, pitched really well. 3.18 ERA, 1.00 whip over 19 starts. Last season, a total disaster for him. But even if you look at the pitch level data, velocity, pitch movement, all that stuff, doesn't look that different from who he was when he was really good. There's been some suggestion that he was tipping pitches. I think that's a reasonable suggestion. Hopefully a change of scenery, moving like 4 miles east, but a change of scenery, different voices in his ear. Hopefully that can help him figure it out because physically he seemed okay when he was on the mound last season. And I'll still chase that upside with a very, very late pick.
And Severino basically free right now. His ADP in the month of January, 299. So likely one of your last picks in the draft. I've got a sleeper, and it is also a starting pitcher, Cristopher Sanchez. Usually you don't want to bet on mid-career breakouts, but Sanchez made some notable changes with the Phillies last year. He lowered his sinker usage. He threw more changeups and sliders. That changeup looks like one of the best in the game, a 152 batting average against, 20% swinging strike rate. He also made huge gains in terms of his control. The first 2 years of his career, 4.1 walks per nine. Last year, 1.5 walks per nine. I'm not sure he'll be able to maintain that level of control, but the fact that he showed what he's capable of, I think that he'll be an okay control pitcher here. Gets lots of ground balls. Cristopher Sanchez, a name you could also target pretty late. 242 is the ADP in the month of January. Chris, let's slide over to a breakout. Same breakout as last year, just a new year.
Yeah, we'll just hit the reset button because ONeal Cruz only got to play 9 games last year before suffering what was really a freak fractured ankle on a play at the plate. Maybe there will be some lingering side effects of that, although he'll be 11 months removed from the ankle injury roughly by the time opening day rolls around. And he's about a round cheaper than he was at this time last year. Still has the high-end power, still has significant strikeout concerns, still has concerns about whether he can hit left-handed pitchers. But when you look at just what he's done over the course of his short major league career, comes out to about, a 25 homer, 20 steal, maybe 30 homer, 20 steal pace over 162 games. Top of the line raw power, super athletic player. It's kind of like getting to bet on Elly De La Cruz at a 60 pick discount. He's probably not going to steal as many bases, but the overall skill set otherwise, pretty similar.
Yeah, the ADP for ONeal Cruz in the month of January, 85.8. If you look at
it's going down.
Yeah, if you look at the NFBC, Elly De La Cruz going inside the top 24 picks. So you're right, Chris. It's about a 60 pick difference between Elly and ONeal Cruz so far here in early drafts. Breakout for me, Bobby Miller. Lots of excitement for Bobby Miller, Grayson Rodriguez, Yuri Perez. I do like all three. I prefer Bobby Miller of the trio. He had a strong rookie season last year. I think he'll get even better. He has a filthy arsenal, throws 99 miles per hour with the fastball. He has 3 swing and miss secondary pitches with a curveball, a slider, and his changeup. According to Eno Saris' Stuff Plus metric, Bobby Miller ranked 5th among starting pitchers with at least 120 innings. And Miller got better in the second half, and it was correlated with a pitch mix change where he started throwing his curveball more. That curveball looks like an elite pitch. 184 batting average against, 89th percentile spin rate. The ADP in January, it's pretty high, 72.6, but if everything breaks right for Bobby Miller, I could see maybe even a borderline SP1 season here coming for Bobby Miller in 2024. Let's move on to our busts here, Chris, and the name you're focusing on here remains a free agent, Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, and that's part of why I feel a little better about being skeptical about Cody Bellinger, because last year I had a lot of egg on my face. I was skeptical about Cody Bellinger's, he started breaking out around the end of May, early June kind of stretch, and I was very skeptical, and he kept doing it. He had a great season, finished strong. but the underlying numbers did not back it up. He was not hitting the ball particularly hard. Strikeout rate's great, pulls the ball in the air. There's a lot of things that he does well, but not as well as he looked last year. He was the 6th biggest overperformer based on Baseball Savant's expected WOBA. And then I look at the fact that he can't get the contract that he's looking for, suggests to me that major league teams are also struggling with how much of last year was real for Cody Bellinger. Makes me feel a little better about fading him. If I could get him around 80, I think that'd be okay, but he's a top 60-ish pick right now. I just can't justify that price.
The ADP for Bellinger in January, 62.5. So in a 12-team league, right around that 5-6 turn. I think it's too early for me as well. I really like to target pitchers in that range, so haven't really had the opportunity to get Cody Bellinger in drafts and probably won't unless it drops. One other name for me who's a bust, Aaron Nola, who is coming off a 4.46 ERA. That's 2 years after posting a 4.63 ERA back in 2021. Nola is tough because he's a workhorse. He gets lots of strikeouts, but when things go wrong for him, they go really wrong. They just snowball, struggles to pitch with runners on base, gives up hard contact at times, questionable defense behind him. If we were getting a discount on Nola, I would say, all right, maybe we could be in. The ADP, top 12 starting pitcher, so no discount. He's more of like a top 20, top 24 starting pitcher for me. I likely will not wind up with Aaron Nola on any of my teams this year. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Audacy app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.